So I'm Dave Oberg, Executive Director here at the Elmhurst History Museum, and we have a very special birthday party for the Elmhurst Fire Department's Seagrave fire engine, 1921 fire engine purchased by the Elmhurst Fire Department, used by our fire department until the early 1950s, if memory serves correctly, and now brought back to Elmhurst, beautifully restored. It's a real showpiece. It's absolutely gorgeous, and we're having a 100th birthday bash for it. Games for the kids. They get a chance to actually name the fire engine, and we're going to find out at the open house in October what the winning name actually is. We've got cookies, we've got refreshments, the galleries are open. I can't think of a better way to spend your day, and we're really lucky we've got a 1926 Seagrave here as well on loan from our friends in Glen Ellen as well to wish our Seagrave a happy 100th birthday.
So good afternoon. My name is Bill Anisevich. I'm the acting fire chief here with the city of Elmhurst, and I wanted to welcome you all to the 100th celebration of our 1921 Seagrave. We're really happy that the weather cooperated with us today and we're able to celebrate a special occasion and a special piece of equipment that we own with the city of Elmhurst. I wanted to start off by saying thank you to quite a few people who, without their help and hard work, this celebration today and having the antique here today would not be possible. So I first off want to thank our elected officials, Mayor Scott Levin, Manager Jim Grabowski, the Glen Ellen Fire Chief, retired Fire Chief Jim Bedoni, and the Glen Ellen Volunteer Fire Company for coming out to help join in the celebration today. Our Antique Fire Committee that actually went, I'll tell you a little bit more about it in a short time here, but who actually went to pick this vehicle up back in 2003 and bring it back home and restore it so we can have it on display here today. But the committee is Jim Hassler, Steve Boyd, Dave Winker, Dan Vogt, many members of Local 3541, and Public Works staff, who all committed endless amount of time restoring this antique to its current state today. Our administrative assistant, Lauren Wolf, who put this whole program together today. Without Lauren's hard work and planning, we would not have been able to put this event together. So I really appreciate everything you've done, Lauren, for the event here today. So part of the process today is we're looking to rename our antique or name our antique. If anybody would like to stop by the booth that Lauren is at, you can fill out a card, or you could submit a name online, and we're going to reveal the name at our open house October 10th, 2021 here at our annual open house at Station 2, which is at 601 South York Road. From 12 until 4, you can come by the station and see the firefighters, our equipment. The antique will be on display again at the fire station. We'll have a burn trailer. Helicopter is going to land in the park, and several other demonstrations throughout the day. So on to today and how we came about getting our antique fire engine. Like I said, back in 2003, we received a call from a gentleman in Missouri who owned our antique. It had left Elmhurst, was purchased by Oak Park, and then Oak Park sold it to another fire department, which then decommissioned it, and an antique collector bought it in St. Louis, Missouri, and he had so much going on he wasn't able to restore it, and he called us to see if we would be interested in buying it, and for $5,000. So in 1921, when we purchased this, it was $9,750 when we originally bought it, and again when we bought it in 2003, it was $5,000. So it was not running. It was in pretty poor shape. And members of the department, along with Public Works members, Jim Hassler went out to Missouri to load it on a flatbed trailer and bring it back home. It was taken apart, and a lot of businesses throughout town donated money so we could refurbish, repaint, and put it all back together. And as you can see right now, it runs. We take it into mini parades, and we're very proud to have our first motorized pumper ever owned by Elmhurst back in our fire station. So for this piece of equipment to be able to run after 100 years, it's pretty amazing. I just wanted to take a minute here and recognize one of the individuals that was instrumental in putting it back together. It's just a small token of our appreciation, but the fire department put together a plaque, and we want to recognize Jim Hassler for recognition of your dedication and devotion in restoring the Elmhurst Fire Department's 1921 Seagrave pumper on this day, August 29th, 2021. Jim, if you can come up for a second. So if you could take your time, walk around. Again, thank you to Glen Ellen for helping us out here today. Theirs is a 1926 Seagrave pumper that they also refurbished with a lot of hard work. Jim Hassler also helped them put that back together, and they are also proud of it. That's why they agreed to come out here and put theirs on display today. So take your time and enjoy both of the antiques. There's some giveaways at the table here, and don't forget to drop a name in the basket. Thank you very much.
We're here in Elmhurst to help celebrate Elmhurst's 100th anniversary of their 1921 Seagrave. Glen Ellen being an owner of a Seagrave, ours is a 1926, a little bit different model, suburbanite. So it's kind of like the shrimp of the Seagrave models, and you can see in the size if you get the pictures, one's bigger than the other. So we have a suburban model, and then the towns that got larger wanted something bigger. And then you can see that in the different models. So ours has a build date of December 9th of 1926. Took delivery in January of 27. So it was in service probably up until the early 70s, as far as maybe an active. It wasn't the first engine out, but it was still held in reserve to get maybe people or a crew to the site. So, and I've been a member with Glen Ellen since May of 1995. So that particular piece of apparatus was still hanging around when I joined. And then growing up in Glen Ellen and Wheaton, I always saw that in the parades as a kid, that engine one. So once I got on in 95, I didn't realize I could help restore that up until 4 years ago, when we made a decision, what are we going to do? It was physically attractive to look at, but it was mechanically a wreck. So we had to make a decision for safety, as far as to be able to drive it, take it to shows or whatever, to make it safe. So we took that and we started in June of 2017, putting all the plans together. That's where I came in. I was kind of like the plan guy. Where do we get stuff? Who's going to do it? And then you probably met Jim Hassler. Jim was our mechanic. He was a mechanic with Elmhurst. So he was our mechanic for our engine one. He helped rebuild Elmhurst's engine two. So it kind of worked out really nice. Yeah, me and Jim really worked good together. So we were off to the races in 17. We tried to get the first basic mechanical things done so we could be in the parade in 2018. So we reached that goal. The only thing we didn't have mechanically done was the motor or the engine. So after the 4th of July parade, we took it out of service again, and then we physically removed the motor and transmission and sent that all to different parts of the world. The main, I like to say thanks to my guys over in St. Charles. That would be Auto Machine. They were the engine rebuilders. And then the actual bolt-on components, you have the engine with the bolt-on, and then the bolt-on components, they went all over the country. I had California. I had Jay Leno's rebuilder of generators and starters. He helped us with that. I had a distributor rebuilt from a guy out of Detroit, but the parts came from Australia, but I couldn't use the parts, so I swapped them with the guy in Detroit. He gave me something for what I got, and I got a new distributor because the old one just fell apart on the bench. Yeah, carburetor went out to a guy in North Carolina. It's amazing. And then the parts, the decorative parts that you see, the pike poles and the different ornaments and everything that we lost, they got removed. So I had to go source those. You know, I had the hose basket that you see on there that came from Kentucky. The ladder brackets came from 2 different sources out of New York, St. Louis. Yeah, the chroming was done locally in Chicago on some of the chrome pieces. It kind of all came together. The radiator, that's my guy out in Elburn Radiator. Have to thank him for the radiator. It was just, it all came together. The pandemic kind of put a hole in that. So we had maybe 3.5 years into it. And then July 4th of this year was the end of the restoration. So there's your, in a nutshell. So it really took, and then the several members of the Glen Ellen who joined in the restoration. We have an antique committee. So that group, it's probably the older members you saw out there. That group, if you guys got some like Ron Leonard and Jim Bodoni and Jay Saluki, those 3 guys, me and Jim Hassler and myself, that was the group that got everything together again to get that thing running. No leaks. In other words, when you look at there's nothing on the floor. Prior to 18, you had oil, antifreeze all on the floor. That's all gone. So that's kind of in a nutshell what it took to restore. So we're glad that we could come up here and really get it over here to partake, because it is an anniversary of our restoration completion.